All right, back for another beer review, and today I will be reviewing a beer from Marlowe Artisanal Ales, and they brew out of the 12% Beer Project location in New Haven, Connecticut, and this is their Despite All Odds. So they're calling this one an Anniversary Double IPA that comes in at 8% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is just over 2 months old. I'm gonna give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Steven, for hooking me up with this one. So huge thanks to him for this beer. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies he hooked me up with. And he hooked me up with the first Marlowe beer that I will be reviewing on the channel. I'm really excited about it. They have a little spiel here on the side. It says, keep cold, drink fresh. We're trying to do that. It says, named after my late grandfather, these beers attempt to honor his memory. We believe in balance in all things and present these beers as such. We hope you enjoy them as an accent to your experiences with your friends and family. Drink while exploring. A double IPA brewed with my favorite malts, hops, and yeast, brewed once a year to commemorate our anniversary. So the hops for this year's version, I don't know if it was the same in prior years, is Nelson Sauvin, Citra, and Mosaic. So definitely the favorite hops of a lot of people. Definitely 2 of those 3 hops are in my top 5, 100%. So anyway, let's crack this one open, get in the glass here, and we'll see what's going on. Really excited about this one, though. I've heard good things about Marlowe, have not had a chance to have anything, and that is pouring out like you'd expect from like a New England style double IPA. Now that has a straight on turkey gravy type of look. I've had, I mentioned that in beer reviews before, like sometimes when they look like this, it's like, oh, that looks like turkey gravy to some extent, right? Beer gravy, whatever you want to call it, but it definitely has this really dark orange color, almost like a slight grayish tinge. Like if you look at this, you'd be like, oh, that's oxidized. And I've had so many beers that look like this that don't have any oxidation, or if they do, you can't really tell on the palate. This has about just over a finger of a, I'd say like off-white, almost slightly cream colored head. In person, it's probably going to, or on the camera, it's going to look more like just straight on white, but in person, definitely off color. Anyway, let's get a nose. Okay. So, oh, that's cool. So when I first smelled it, I was like, I don't get much. Now I totally am. Big blast of peach. There's this, yeah, there's peach, and then there's like a kiwi, something different than I would typically get in a beer like this. But yeah, there's like peach, there's kiwi. Maybe like a underripened blueberry. Maybe the Mosaic is there. White grape is there, the Nelson. It's not giving me like that white wine-esque type of like gooseberry. It's more of like a white grape skin. I did it. There's this like doughy, sweeter, almost biscuity kind of malt sensation. Now the white grape character is starting to build a little bit more. And that peach is kind of falling back. So is that blueberry. A little bit more of like a zesty citrus, like orange is hitting it now. Slight herbal type of hop character as well. Some pump's going off. Shout out to some pump, you'll hear it. And it's off. Anyway, it smells really good. I feel like just looking at the beer, like the body and mouthfeel are going to be really good. I hope so. So cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Steven. So I was right about the body and mouthfeel. Here's the thing. There's some hop burn left here. Over 2 months old, definitely some hop burn. I will tell you right from the get-go, if I drank this like 2 weeks old, this would be killing me. Like it'd be, the hop burn would be very intense. Body this is higher side of medium, low, full. 8%, one of the bigger bodies I've had. I think when I was pouring it and just looking at it, I was like, yeah, that body's going to probably be thick, and it is. The mouthfeel is super soft and smooth. Doesn't really have a creaminess, but it has it reminds me of like a treehouse kind of beer with a softness, but doesn't have quite that creamy character a lot of the treehouse mouthfeels have. Very akin to a Fiden's mouthfeel, I would say. Right front though, I'm getting zesty orange. The citrus is leading the way. Zesty orange, maybe a little bit of tangerine, juicy tangerine and orange as well. Right after that, I'm getting a straight up ripened peach, and it transitions into that white grape skin. And it's really nice. Yeah, there's a big, juicy, sweeter kind of feel to the beer up front between the malt sweetness combining with those fruity characters. But second half of the palate, there's an herbaceousness that kicks in, and it definitely kind of melds and mixes with that green, astringent, vegetal hop burn. The beer is not super like punch me in the throat hop burn-esque. Like there's a hop burn here, there's a vegetal greenness to it, but it's not overbearing. Like I'm glad it's a 12-ounce can. 16 might be a little bit too much, but I'm glad it's in a 12-ounce can. But I will say this. Like I said earlier, if this was super fresh, I don't think I'd enjoy this all that much just because that hop burn at just over 2 months old is still very pronounced. I mean, fresh, I'd imagine this was just like killer. But I don't know, if somebody had this out there fresh, what'd you think? Was the hop burn really that intense? Because I feel like it had to be, but maybe not. So it finishes with that hop burn, a mild bitterness, a really semi-dry finish, but kind of, to be honest with you, the hop burn kind of takes away all the flavors on the back of the palate. So like it's hard to decipher how dry this beer really is. I'd say like a semi-dry, how bitter it is just because it kind of grips the throat in the back of the palate. Again, it's not overbearing, but it's pretty big and pronounced. Pour the rest in here, see if we get anything else. I really like the flavors of this one. The body and mouthfeel are awesome. This is definitely drinks like a triple IPA from the body and the mouthfeel, but it's 8%. So that's a cool, unique thing that I don't really get that often. I'm also getting like a slight bubblegum kind of yeast thing going on. I really like the flavors of this beer, like a lot. But that hop burn, or what I perceive to be hop burn on the back of the palate, is kind of stepping in the way a little bit of like total full enjoyment of this one. So I'm gonna have to be honest with my rating. I would say if there wasn't hop burn and just that carried on, and then I got like a herbaceousness on the back of the palate and everything was fine, this would be like a high 4.25 into a low 4.5. Like that's how much I like that. The juicy, zesty citrus tones combining with the ripened peach and then the white grape skin, like all those flavors are fantastic. I can taste a little bit of the base malt. I like that bubblegum character, but I think the second half of the palate brings that rating it down. I would say like I'd go like 4.35, 4.4 without that, but because of the hop burn, I got to knock it down like a quarter, maybe a third of a point. So we're going to give Marlowe Artisanal Ales their despite all odds. Best I can do on that is a straight 4 out of 5. I feel like that's what I have to give it. It's just, yeah, I got to be honest. I mean, a 4 out of 5 is still a good score, but like this beer had so much potential as I was smelling it and as I tasted it, but that hop burn definitely lingers. I mean, I'll drink the rest of it. It's just, man, like right after take a sip, it's almost like if so the best way to describe hop burn, at least for me, to people who've never had it, it's like you took like a shot of any kind of alcohol, like big alcohol, and like right up front, you're like, oh, but as soon as on the back end, you get the burn in the throat. That's kind of what you get with hop burn, but instead of it being an alcohol burn, it's more of like a vegetal, like just green hop matter that's burning your throat. So it's something that I've experienced in, numerous beers. I don't get it a lot, but I got it with this one, and recently I reviewed Spindletap's Houston Hazier that just was just full of hop burn, and just that beer seemed to be off. This beer doesn't seem to be off. It's just has a lot of hop burn. So price and availability, this is where, Steven, hopefully you can chime in and let me know. I would imagine maybe like these are probably in 4-pack. If they're in 4-packs of 12-ounce cans, then I would hope these are like no more than like $4 a can, 15, 16 bucks a 4-pack. If they're in 4-packs, that's what I like. If they're in 6-packs, I could see easily $20 to $24 for a 6-pack because it's 12-ounce cans. You're getting 6 of them. But hopefully it's not more than like $4 for that can. That would be at least the going rate that I would look for. And availability, I've not seen Marlowe here. I haven't really looked that hard, but they are distributed by the 12% Beer Project, and yeah, you see a lot of different companies, contract brewing there, and like Abomination is one of them, Skygazer, places like that. So I've yet to see this beer specifically or any beer from Marlowe, but I'll be on the look. And yeah, if you've had this one before, let me know what you think about it. Did you get the hop burn? What did you think about this one? How fresh did you drink it? Again, this is just over 2 months old, like almost approaching 9 weeks. So I feel like by now the hop burn should be kind of mellowed out to some degree. Oh yeah, 8%, you really can't tell outside of the body and mouthfeel. Like I get no alcohol. That's a huge positive, this one. So 4 out of 5 I think is a fair score with everything going on. Just wish that hop burn was a little bit reserved. Anyway, thanks to Steven for this beer. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Till the next one. Cheers.